With reimbursed returns, you'll now be able to look at all the different reimbursements based on the customer returns. Anytime a customer makes it, you can see the reasons as well as how much was reimbursed to the customer, and you can either look at it, analyze it, and find the incorrect ones, get money that is owed back to you, as opposed to just letting Amazon do whatever they want with the returns and refunding customers, because Amazon will use a lot of your balance and then charge you goodwill for all the things, like if a customer complains that something was shipped 1 day late when it's not really your fault. It's Amazon's fault for delivering late, but it comes out of your goodwill. So things like that. What we're going to look at is reimburse. The function here, the documentation is right here. You've got the example formulas, so you can copy and paste this in, but keep in mind that the quotation marks, it doesn't translate from a website over to Google Sheets very well, so you have to manually copy, rather than copy it, you have to manually type it in. So just keep that in mind if a formula doesn't load for whatever reason. You've got a list of all the different syntaxes, the examples, and how it's used, different time periods that we support, and all things like the different reasons for why a specific unit was returned: customer damage, defective damage, distributor damage, etc., carrier damaged. So all of these stuff are dependent on the return customer, and you should be able to collect the ones that are rightfully belong to your account. Reimbursed returns. This one single formula pretty much generated that entire table. You just saw if I delete that one cell and it wiped that out. So what I'm going to do is Gorilla _ reimburse returns. And the only mandatory input here is the time period. I'm going to make it dynamic by selecting this year. Close this formula, press enter, and now it's going to auto-populate and create this list of tables, or this list of items in this table for all the transactions this year that happened on a return that was reimbursed to a customer. So you've got the reasons, you've got the quantities, you've got which FC it was, the disposition, so if something was sellable or not, who damaged it. Let's see what else, different types of status, as well as what's really great about this is you get the LPN, the license plate number, and you need this information if you want to be able to create a case on Seller Central. So rather than having to dig through everything, you can just copy and paste a certain line completely and say, hey, this one was reimbursed to the customer, however this shouldn't have been, this is blah blah blah, etc., and provide this information. And then Seller Central, seller support will then be able to use this information, go back into the transactions, and decide whether they need to reverse that reimbursement. You can also use this information to be able to create like a sort of table, create a nice, very easy to understand report to figure out what type of returns are coming in the most in the sample spreadsheet that we created, as well as it's in your template account. So if you log in and then go into templates, you'll be able to download this directly. You'll see how I've used all the different reimbursement functions that we have here. But if I go towards the red one, returns per SKU, you can see that on a certain SKU, there's way more returns than others, and that's a good indicator. And being proactive, you can then figure out, okay, is this something that's temporary? Is it a mistake by Amazon, or is there really something wrong with the product that I have overlooked? And so you can be proactive about that. You can pull it back before you start getting hit with some bad policy or performance gets affected, etc. You can also see which fulfillment center has the most issues. If there's anything related to, say, which one has the most inventory adjustments or returns made? Is there a specific state or fulfillment center that is getting an excessive number of returns? Maybe there's a bad actor in that specific area, a competitor is in that area that you know of, and then it could pretty much be seen in the data. So that's the different ways that you can do it. The different types of reasons you can see here, there's a lot, and it's in the data points. When you create your table, it's only going to show you the reasons that are listed on your account. In this template one, you can see all the different types of reasons, and so this also we provide everything that Amazon gives you. So everything is transparent, everything is completely open, so that you know what is going on. We don't try to hide the details and then charge you a percentage of the amount recovered or something like that. You have control over how you want to filter. This is So for this year, comma, if I want to filter a specific set of SKUs instead of everything, let's say I want to do like these SKUs only as opposed to like the hundreds of SKUs that are in this particular account. And then the status is I want to do all. Okay, so I want to get all the statuses. Is there a specific disposition that I'm looking for? No, not really. Actually, let me look up, say, defective. Okay, so defective. And again, all of these options you can see in the documentation. We have everything is listed, so you can actually see and understand how the formulas are built out. Also, just follow the drop-down list and just take it one by one, and you'll be a pro in no time. Okay, and this is all I want to enter. So I've got this year for this SKUs, for this number of SKUs, all the statuses, but I want it for the defective disposition. So click on that. It's going to regenerate the table. And now it's populated with this particular SKU, and it's now telling me that, okay, these are the defective ones. And so another way where it's great to report to management saying, okay, we've got a list of these defective returns coming from this FC, coming from, for this particular SKU. So it gives a very good breakdown, and it's very useful in determining how your reimbursements are going, how your returns are going, whether it's increasing month by month, and so on. So use it in a proactive way, get your money back, and simplify the complexity of trying to go through all these reimbursements and collecting and combining 5-6 different types of reports.